Well, hello, you gorgeous mother truckers, you, and welcome to another video. Right, this is the first one of the pre-recorded ones. Going to be a bit of a dodgy one. This is because as I'm recording this one, it is now 18 minutes past 6 on the 12th of April, which is the day, the Saturday, where Parliament has been recalled to discuss British Steel because of the failure of the Scunthorpe plant. Now, as always, Labour will be giving it the big I am and pretending that it's doing something to save something. They do like to take credit for other people's work. They like to pretend that they're doing something where they've had, their hands were clean and we walked into this and we've already had the excuses. They've been blaming the Conservatives and they've been blaming Trump and they've been blaming Margaret Thatcher. In fact, they've been blaming anyone. They're doing this standard Labour thing, which is their narcissistic thing where they just blame everybody else, even though in reality this has been coming for a while. And they knew about this a few months ago when they took power, but they didn't do anything because why would they? Because now the hand has been. And the reason it's important is because it's the very, very last steel plant that we have in the UK. Running out of supplies for whatever reason. And it's needed because it's the steel that we use to make barrels for our Challenger tanks and things like that. So we can't afford to lose the very last steel plant. I mean, we destroyed left, right and centre the industry. Now, of course, they're blaming everything else. And, surprisingly enough, acting like heroes, which I think is quite nice. We have here Melanie Ward MP off to Parliament to vote to save British Steel on a plane for a party who absolutely 100% determined to get net zero, which is the real reason that this plant is closing. But no, you got to give her a medal because she actually managed to do that. It's just unbelievable. And then we get another one. Who's this? This is Sarah Sackman, KC MP, on my way to Westminster to save British Steel. Very moving to see MPs and Parliament staff all dedicating their weekend to our country and our democracy. Right, for one, it's your job. I know it's hard. And two, you could have done this during the week. You could have done this Friday, but of course you don't like working on Fridays. You could have just all decided to stay later on Friday to discuss this. You could have discussed this 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago. When you could have actually not have to do it with this stage show of trying to make it look like you're doing something important, that you're bending over backwards for country. You're not. It's your job. You get paid £93,000 and even more soon when you get your pay rise. In fact, it's probably gone up already. And you don't do fuck all else all the rest of the time. So this virtue signaling, oh, look at us, we're all rushing in, blah, blah, blah. You could have solved this months ago, but you didn't want to because why would you? So now, instead of that, you're making this huge pantomime of look what we're doing. We're saving it. When in reality, it's net zero that's causing the problem. Because of Ed Miliband, and we'll come on to him in a moment, and all the things that you've done in the desperation to get net zero, because this tiny, leany, weeny, tiny, insignificant little island, when we hit net zero, we'll actually help the planet. Not at all. I think it's 0.0000000000001% of the world's CO2 production. So when we do that, we get rid of that tiny little bit. Meanwhile, China is building more power stations that are run on coal. But it's pointless. And the Labour MPs, especially Ed Miliband, are that mental. I mean, I've just shown you one who's going to go and save the British industry on a plane. So much for your net zero bullshit. But I've also talked about the fact that electric cars are going to be for us plebs, but all the luxury vehicles, they can stay diesel and petrol for the rich bastards who apparently are suffering on a Saturday. How hard for you. Oh, what a shame. Yeah, there's an awful lot of this country that work every Saturday and every Sunday. Mrs. G is at work right now and she'll be at work on Sunday as well. And she works all weekends and has worked every weekend pretty much for the last 17 years. So, big at you to go in on a Saturday. So, in any case, it's net zero that's causing this. 100%. This is a net zero issue. But not only that is this is causing a lot more anger. For instance, on this one, where John Nicholson, imagine the feelings of deep shame Scottish Labour MPs should be feeling as they sit in Westminster watching this play out. Only months after Labour broke its promise to save the Grangemouth, as it was owned by a private company. And somebody quite rightly says, UK government steel industry bill specifies it will take action in England only. Way to improve and make everybody happy. And somebody put down there, Ron Wilson, Scottish Labour have no shame ever when it comes to selling out Scotland, be it Grangemouth, Waspy, removing PIP from disabled, freezing our pensioners, permitting Westminster to override core Scottish national interest. Well, exactly, and that isn't going to help, is it? So, because Grangemouth couldn't be saved by the government, they couldn't step in because it was owned by a quote-unquote private company, even though the Scunthorpe works are owned quote-unquote by a private company. Yeah, but that's just the standard hypocritical bullshit that we get. I'm just going to quickly refresh, see if there's anything else coming up. Not at the moment. So, any case, so I'll just give you the brief overview of exactly what's happening. So, the UK Parliament has been recalled on nationalisation of British Steel, currently owned by a Chinese company. The government is using emergency powers to take control, citing a matter of national interest. They could have done this months ago. They could have done this years ago. They could have done this by not selling them to the Chinese in the first place. And that's the Conservatives, by the way. So neither of these two PR parties are covering themselves with glory on this. Discussion comes amidst concerns about the future of the steel production in Britain, particularly at the Scunthorpe plant, and the impact of high energy costs and emission taxes under the net zero regime on the industry's profitability, which is what Labour are doing. So Labour are actually screaming that we're saving it where it's their net zero. Your obsession with net zero has made owning a business in this country expensive energy-wise because you are mental. And you see, in my idea, if I'm going to have this, and don't get me wrong, using wind power and solar power would be a great idea if it fucking worked properly, but it doesn't. But the logic being is if you're going to have something that creates greener energy, it is prudent and wise to keep your old stuff running while the new stuff is tested and made to work, and you're 100% certain of is exactly what you can get all the infrastructure in place while keeping the old stuff running. And then if there's a problem, we've still got the old stuff running. But no, Labour got rid of all the old stuff and the new stuff doesn't work properly. But this obsession with getting to net zero for this tiny island, as I said at the beginning, to make zero impact on anything is just mental. But that's what's causing the problem. That is what's causing the problem. Now, they all banging on about this, that, and the other. Oh, it's coal. Coal's one of the major issues. Now, we've shut down all our coal mines, and we've shut down the last coal-powered power stations gone the way of the dodo. We haven't got any, even though we've got many, many years' worth of coal sat right underneath our feet right now. I mean, to show you the level of net zero is we drill oil and gas in our North Sea oil fields, but we send it to Norway and then buy it back off Norway at double the price because it doesn't look like we're doing anything because it's keeping our carbon footprint neutral. That's the mentality that we're having to deal with. So they're going on this, that, and the other. But of course, there is net zero again because here we go. So supporters of Whitehaven mine argued it would bring economic and security benefits. Former Conservative Mayor of Copeland, Mike Starkey, said the decision was devastating as the mine would have brought prosperity and opportunity. And it goes there, excavated coal will be used mainly for steel production. And at the bottom, Ed Miliband, the shadow climate expert secretary who's now in charge, a Labour government was to leave no stone unturned in seeking to prevent the opening of this climate-destroying coal mine. And that's what's causing your problem, one of your problems, at the steelworks, because you won't let us keep our own coal. Literally insane. And then Ed Miliband, I'll bring it up for you. So Ed Miliband has left the Commons chamber. The steel debate is only just going for over an hour, and he's been bullied out basically and somebody put rightly, good old Stephen Barrett here. Poor Ed is being bullied because all he's done is destroy the energy and steel industries and made everybody poorer. Shame on those nasty bullies. Ed will now go and talk to the squirrels because at least they appreciate him. And that is where we are. So stop blaming Trump because, as I've said in a previous video, Trump's going to get blamed for everything. It's got nothing to do with Trump. This was coming a mile off, months ago, years ago. In fact, you could probably even go back a couple of years, and this was coming. But no one did anything about it. And now it's an issue because now all of a sudden, people have realised how important our steel industry is. We used to be the premier steel producing country in the world. Scunthorpe power is to run the furnaces is coal. We've got coal right here. I've just explained to you that we were going to open a coal mine to service those plants. Gone. Do you know where we get our coal from now? Because this is all about net zero. Japan. Yeah, not the nearest country. Japan. And that's the problem. So Japan, we've got the time it takes for the coal to come from Japan. It's got to come on a boat. It's got to come from the other side of the world, all the way around, either all the way around the bottom or all across over to the other way. All that way. Because our net zero. So it's Japan that's caused the problem, not us. That's how stupidly, mentally idiotic they are. The solution to the problem is save British Steel by opening a couple of our coal mines that we've got, stuff your net zero, and get the coal out of the ground and keep it going. And while you're at it, build a couple of coal-powered fire stations so we can have some power. Because at the moment, this solar power, wind power bullshit isn't providing enough power. They actually spend more money telling the wind turbines to be kept off because the problem is when a wind turbine generates energy, there's nowhere to store it. So if you're not using it, it goes in the ground. We spend more money making sure that the turbines are off than they are on. We're building all these wind farms, and an awful lot of the time, they're off. I was in Great Yarmouth, and there was a wind farm right opposite where we were over in the sea, right opposite where the camp was. I mean, you could see them in the distance. And we were there for a week, and only 2 days, in fact, no, only 1 day, they were all on. All the other time, there was 2 or 3 running, and the rest of them were off. And that's saving the world, Daddy. That's saving the country. That's making. I mean, since we've become net zero, we're going to secure our energy, make us less reliant on everybody else. We get everything that we need from everywhere else, which is why we have the world's most expensive energy. When you've got expensive energy, the companies who want to build here go, well, I mean, and we're not even talking about the employment law and the flipping tax bullshit. Why would I build my company there, which is going to cost me 3 times as much to power it, when I could put it in France and it's cheaper? So, as I said, I have been refreshing the feed as we've been going. I'm going to do one last one before I bring it to an end. Let's see if anything has come up on the latest. And no. It's upsetting the Scots an awful lot. I'll get to into that. No, I'm just having a look. I mean, old Nigel Farage has been there for his photo shoot because that's all it's about for him, isn't it? It's about photo shoots and making himself look good. He isn't going to do anything. No, nothing else. I've got no updates as of yet. So, I'm afraid I'm going to have to bring the video to close without a definitive answer. I'm sure by the time this video comes out and by the time has moved on, the result will be out, and I'll probably find out probably too late, and I'll be on holiday. And I'm sorry, but I don't care then. I'm going to have a few days away with the family and enjoy myself. Any case, 2 videos coming off at the end of this. One will be the last one that I uploaded. The other one with the one that God's a YouTuber picked. It's called The Chosen One. Enjoy. You like what I'm saying and agree with what I'm saying and like what I'm doing and how I do things, you just hit that subscribe button. You can like, you can share. You can even attempt to leave me a comment in the comment section because for some reason a lot of them go missing and it isn't me. That I can guarantee you. So you can support the channel in multiple ways. I'm not going to go through it. It's there if you know. You got the Ko-fi and all that sort of stuff. You can help me in that way if you so desire. No pressure, no request, no demand, no nothing. It's there if you want to. All the links are in the description down below. Any case, enough of that. I'm done. So, until the next one. Whoa. Not going just quite yet. It's just come up as I was speaking. So, when I was recording it, I wasn't sure. The information's now available. So, Parliament approves British Steel bill as sources say owners blocked from entering Scunthorpe plant. So, while I was doing it, I didn't realise it had gone through. So, this was at 1748. Steel industry special measures now passed to the House of Lords in awaiting royal assent. 1740, the government is taking control of British Steel is the right thing to do, and the TUC has said. Commenting on the Steel Industry Special Measures Bill passing, TUC General Secretary Paul Nowak said, the government is stepping in to take control of British Steel is the right thing to do in the national interest, because of it years ago. The right the ministers do whatever it takes, including nationalisation, to secure the future of the steel. Could have been done years ago. Steel is a foundation industry, and this is the only plant left, by the way. This move will help safeguard thousands of jobs, protect our critical infrastructure, and ensure we continue to produce steel here in the UK. Today's announcement is the first step towards ensuring we can modernise and decarbonise steel making in this country, reducing our reliance on foreign imports and make sure we stay competitive on the global stage. Why? You don't need to import foreign coal. We've got it. Stop this net. See, even there, decarbonising it. No! There are some industries you just can't at the moment. So what you're going to do is we're going to own it. So it's going to cost this country billions. Okay? It's going to cost this country absolutely billions. This is. And yet we are still going to go net zero and we're still going to import it all from abroad, which will make British steel the most expensive steel in the world. So it won't get any new customers. Yep, you saved it. Great. Well done. Brilliant. Awesome. Well done. It's another billion or couple of £1 billion that us, the taxpayer, have got to find because you could have solved it another way. And I'm happy that it's not going, but the fact that we've got to decarbonise it and got to net zero it, it's doomed. It's never the only people it's going to sell steel to is the military. No one else, because no one else can afford to buy British steel because it'd be too expensive. But at least it's been saved, and I suppose that saves 1,000 jobs. So we should be grateful. Labour will milk this till the cows come home, but in reality, they've doomed it to be the most expensive thing that'll never have any customers. It is what it is. Right, I am going. So until the next one.
What the fuck is this?